Attention bowlers, we're going to get started from Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Welcome to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. This is Dominick Paladino at Bruno DeFeo in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And we're just getting started here. Dominick drops 8 on the head pin with a split. To start things out, it's the 9 and the 10 pins on the deck. And this match will be pre-recorded because we've been having a couple of internet issues at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts, so bear with us on that. We're on lanes 3 and 4 in the red room at Academy Lanes. Dominick misses his spare, and he's going to fire for a 10 box on lanes 9 and 10, and he will take an 8 box to start out this first of 5 game series at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Class B North match again. Dominick Paladino at Bruno DeFeo. Bruno DeFeo, our home bowler from Academy Lanes. Dominick Paladino, the away bowler from Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury, Massachusetts. Dominick fires on the head pin. He drops 9. It's a late falling strike, actually. I was going to mark it as a 9 drop, but apparently he decided to just take a strike right off the bat to the point where it has to be a score correction going on because it was a late falling pin. And I thank JJ Charigny for setting that up. So, folks, again, my name is Steve Kelly. I'll be your host, narrator, and guide during this Class B North match between today's challengers, Dominick Paladino and Bruno DeFeo. Dominick filling his strike so far. First ball is a 5 drop. He's off to the right of the head pin. And down there, we have the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 that he's shooting at. We're on lanes 3 and 4 tonight. It's going to be the Friday Night Pro League immediately following this broadcast, so be on the lookout for that. That's a 9 fill on Dominick's strike. It's 27 after 2 for Dominick. I'll show you some slides and info a little bit later here in the match. But meanwhile, Dominick will finish with a 10 box in the third for 37 after 3. While we're waiting, again, here we go, is Dominick Paladino at Bruno DeFeo, starting out very quickly tonight as Dominick and JJ have to run down to Riverwalk Lanes for the Friday Night Pro League right after this. And Dominick is going to continue on down the line here, lane 3, to the right of the head pin, but still on the head pin, right pocket that is. That is a split 7 drop, 2, 8, 10 on the deck. And it's going to be a shot where you have to hit full enough on the 2 and the 8, but you have to kick over to the 10. It's more difficult than it looks, but there is some wood. Dominick will play the 2 and the 8, and also the way this room in particular plays, it could be a rather challenging endeavor. So Dominick will not score a spare, but he can certainly shoot for a 10 box. And 10 box he will get. It's a 10 in the fourth for 47 for Dominick Paladino. So tonight, folks, if you're seeing this stream for the first time and you're not quite sure how to read the scoreboard, here's a little primer. It comes down to the bowlers' initials at the top with their points, and in the gray area, it has to do with the leads across the match total and the game total, respectively. Dominick Paladino, meanwhile, on lane 3, he's off to the left of the head pin and scores 6 pins. The 4 horsemen right side is what he's shooting at. It's the 1, 2, 6, 10 on the deck in Haverhill, Massachusetts at Academy Lanes. It's a pleasure as always to have you along with us. Dominick is trying to run down these 4 pins. This is another shot where it can be more difficult than it looks. The 1, 3, 6, 10. Or the sister shot, the 1, 2, 4, 7. Dominick's a little bit too full on the head pin, and he won't get the spare. He's left with the 3, 6, 10 on the deck. And for the 10 box, 7, 8, 9, or 10, it's going to be a 9 box for Dominick. He'll finish his first half with 56 in 5 to start things out. 56 after 5 for Dominick Paladino in this first game out of 5. He has only completed the first half. We're going to, meanwhile, say hello for the first time tonight, and for the first time in the broadcast that I've done, at least, to Bruno DeFeo. That may be a name you recognize from the old days of Candlepin Bowling, from way back in the day, from the WNDS TV 50 as well as the Channel 5 WCVV days. Bruno DeFeo has been around a long time, and he's still bowling here in Class B in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, where we celebrate the old and the new. That's a 7 drop for Bruno DeFeo, the 6, 8, 10. And he plays the wood in front of the 6 and gets no luck, as JJ Charigny down at the score table remarks. Bear with me. I'm going to make an adjustment to try to make our zoom cam a little bit bigger here. Bruno DeFeo will start out with an 8 box to start out in the first, 8 after 1 for Mr. DeFeo. And again, a little more primer on the scoreboard. So again, here the strike and double strike and spare and 10 symbols. An X is 10, triangle is spare, square is strike, and the triangles and all the corners are a double strike, should we be so fortunate to use those symbols tonight. And Bruno DeFeo is right on the head pin and scores a split minus the 10 pin. That's a spread eagle minus the 10 pin, that is. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. And he'll fire on the 4 and take only the 4. DeFeo is now working on a remedial 3rd ball for something greater than a 6 box. Let's see what Bruno DeFeo can come up with here. Lane 3. He'll sail through the center. He's going to take a 6 box. So in case you missed it, Dominick Paladino has started out with 56 and 5. Bruno DeFeo is at 14 after 2.
Oh, here you go. Here you go now.
At Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's great to have you along with us. We have some interesting camera angles tonight because of the way some of the seating arrangements and the flooring arrangements are set up, it's just a little bit tough to get everything accommodated for without creating a bit of a tripping hazard. So that's just what we have tonight. Bruno DeFeo dropping 6, the right side 4 horsemen, the 1, 3, 6, 10 once again. And he is going to be shooting for a spare shot here, potentially, to run down the right side 4 horsemen. Plays the head pin to the left pocket, which kicks over to the 10 pin but leaves the 3 and the 6. DeFeo now will be working on a remedial shot for a 10 box. Eight, 9, or 10 box for Bruno DeFeo on lane 3. And he's going to finish with a 9 box in the 3rd. That puts him at 23 after 3. So Bruno DeFeo, he is new to my broadcast. He has a season record of 10 and 4 after 1 match played so far. And that's Bruno DeFeo with a spread eagle shot on the head pin. That's another split. And Bruno DeFeo with a season record of 10 and 4, his home record, he hasn't bowled any matches yet, so he has a home record that is clean right now. Away record is 10 and 4. That 1 match was entirely bowled. Excuse me, his one only match was bowled away. Season average of 105.6. Again, that was away. Bruno DeFeo will clean up for a 10 box, 33 after 4. With 1 more to go before he sits. And we swap lanes and return to Dominick Paladino on the approaches of Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Again, it's great to have you along with us. I'm Steve Kelly. This match is recorded because we don't have internet connectivity just at the moment. We hope to get that resolved before the Friday Night Pro League tonight. Bruno DeFeo is off to the right of the head pin and drops a few pins on the right side of the deck. That's the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Bruno DeFeo doesn't connect with the head pin. He's left with the 1, the 2, excuse me, the 1, the 7, and the 8. He'll be shooting for a 10 box. And he'll take an 8 box, leaving the 1 and the 7. That will finish Bruno DeFeo at 41 after 5. Here on the tour, the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. It's first of 5 games. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. You're watching Dominick Paladino and Bruno DeFeo. Dominick Paladino with 1 mark tonight. Currently working on a 56 half. We'll talk more about our bowlers here in a little bit. Dominick Paladino on the head pin with a 6 drop and a split. It is a 6 and a 7 that he has to shoot at for a spare. 6 and the 7. There's a lot of wood between the 6 and the 7 that he could shoot for. And he will play it. He'll take a spare. Dominick Paladino, 2 marks so far, 66 and a ball. Dominick Paladino also has a season record of 10 and 4 after 1 match played. That match was also away, so Bruno DeFeo and Dominick Paladino with identical records tonight. Dominick has an away, or a high five of 583 so far with that one game played. That's a 7 fill for Dom. He is looking at the 7, 9, 10 on the deck. He's thinking long and hard about it. There's a lot of wood to contend with down there. And Dom's playing for the spare. Will he get 2? He misses everything. Dominick for the 10 box. He'll take 9 for a remedial ball. That puts him at 82 after 7. Dominick Paladino. Dominick Paladino with 5 headpin shots tonight so far. 71% percentage. Not bad, but there's still plenty of time. So we'll see if he can maintain that percentage. It's impressive if he can finish with that. Paladino to the right of the headpin. Misfires a little bit. And there's certainly pins down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Paladino for the spare, and he misses the operative pin, but piece of wood spins around and takes a few more out. He's left with the 1 and the 3 on the deck for a 10 box. Paladino 5 for 7 on headpin shots tonight, 4 for 7 on splits. He'll take an 8 box. For 90. Excuse me, 5 for 8 on headpins and 4 for 8 on splits. Dominick Paladino here in Haverhill, Massachusetts. His home house was Leda Lanes last year. He switched to Riverwalk Lanes this year. And that's a 9 drop on the headpin, nearly a strike, the 5-pin wiggling. It's a 9 drop for a single pin spare opportunity for Dominick Paladino. Paladino will miss the single pin. He's off to the right of the 5-pin. Rather uncharacteristic miss for Dom. Shooting for a 9 or 10 box. He'll take a 10 box. That is 109 for Dominick. As JJ goes to correct the score down there, making sure we're in sync. It is indeed 109. Paladino on lane 4. He drops 7, maybe more. It's going to be 8. It wasn't a headpin shot, but he got a generous drop, leaving the 1 and the 3. And he's shooting for a spare, and this could be another simple one. You just have to effectively connect with the headpin, and as long as you're not too full, it should be just fine. Dominick will think long and hard about it. In the first round of the ACST this season, Dominick faced Steve Davis at Portsmouth Bolorama. Dom will connect with the 3 and miss the 1, so no spare for Dom. In that match, Dominick took 10 points with a 583 series. He had 3 strikes, 16 spares, and 11 tens. Dominick will take a 10 box. He'll finish with a 110 opening game. It's Dominick Paladino finishing with 110. We'll pause to wait for the score correct, just to make sure it is 110. I believe it is. JJ's just finishing up on the scores down there. Anyways, Bruno DeFeo off to the right of the headpin. That was a 110, right? Not 109. Yep, just confirming with Dom that it was a 110, not 109, and yes, it is confirmed. Bruno DeFeo working on an ugly first ball and a remedial shot. Not quite a spare. Leaves the 1, the 2, and the 10 on the deck. DeFeo for the 10 box. He'll take 1 more out for an 8 box. For 49 after 6. Again, in case you missed it, Dominick with a 2-mark 110 with 4 10s and 2 marks, a strike, a spare, and a 10. Achieved every type of special statistic except for a double strike. So if you need a primer on that, there you go. Bruno DeFeo to the right of the head pin, punches out right side half Worcester. The 3 and the 9 pins were taken out. Half Worcester, Bruno DeFeo. DeFeo for a spare. And he won't quite get it. He'll leave the 1, the 6, and the 10 on the deck. 10 box opportunity. DeFeo will take one more out for an 8 box. That puts him at 57 in 7. And Bruno DeFeo is bowling Class B North Division 3 this season. And again, I found this thumbnail because I thought it was funny. He's been bowling a very long time. He's been bowling since the old days, the WNDS and WCBB Channel 5 days in the early 90s. That's Bruno DeFeo on the head pin, dropping 4 on the spread eagle. DeFeo has a high series of 528 this season. Perfect box percentage of 52. And he's trying to convert the spread eagle for a spare, and he nearly does. He leaves the 2 and the 7 pin wiggling. And he's shooting for a 10 box now, Mr. DeFeo is. And he'll take 9 for 66 in 8. DeFeo currently 50% for head pins tonight, 4 for 8. And 50% for splits, 4 for 8. He's still fishing for a mark. We'll see where things go. And he drops 5 to the right of the head pin. It's the 4 horseman left side and the 8. And DeFeo misses the spare shot. He leaves the 4 and the 7. Dominick, meanwhile, in lanes 1 and 2, helping out some kids with a ball return that got jammed up. You might see him on the screen there. DeFeo for 8, 9, or 10. And he'll take an 8 box. It puts him at 74 and 9. In case you missed it, here's Bruno DeFeo's stats so far for the season. High 1, 124. High 5, 528. I remember watching Bruno DeFeo way back in the 90s when I was a kid. I had a chance to talk with him before the match, and I told him, I said, "You've been bowling a long time, man." And it's great to cover him now. So DeFeo, off to the left of the head pin, has a bouquet of pins in the center. Takes a few more out. Hits the head pin, but doesn't get much to show for it. 7, 8, 9, or 10 box for DeFeo. And DeFeo will take 2 more out for a 9 box. He'll finish the first game with an 83. So Dominick will take the first game 110 to 83. Here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Class B North. This match will be pre-recorded because despite being hardwired into the internet here with the Ethernet cable, we're not getting any juice out of it, so hopefully we're going to have that cleared up by the time the Friday Night Pro League starts here. We will find out. Meanwhile, we're going to start the second game. Currently, Dominick Paladino takes the first game and has the total by 27. Paladino on lane 3 on the head pin. Dropping 5, the 4, 5, 7, 8, 10. The accordion plus the 10 pin. Paladino versus 5 pins. He'll attempt to play it. 1 pin still standing and a piece of wood still spinning. So there's no spare for Paladino. He's shooting for a 10 box. Paladino will take a 9 box. 9 after 1. And after one for Paladino, after one box. First game was 110. And Paladino, meanwhile, while they're just doing a quick score correct, he has a season record of 10-4. It's still early in the season, so we won't assess many more stats past that. Season average of 116.6 and a high one of 136, a high 5 of 583. Dominick's off to the left of the head pin. No split, but not much to show for it. He's got the 4 horsemen right side, the 5 and the 9. For a spare, Dominick fires right on the head pin, a little bit too full. Leaves the 3, the 6, and the 9. For a 10 box, Dominick's pitch. Takes one more out for an 8 box, 17 after 2. In case you missed it, here's Dom's stats again. He has 3 strikes, 16 spares, and 11 tens. After just one match of play so far. Dominick recently faced Steve Davis in Portsmouth, taking 10 points. See if he can continue that streak. Misfire from Dom, but pin's still falling. He drops 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the deck. For the spare, Dominick's off to the left of the head pin. Slight misfire there. 1 and the 3. That's what he's shooting for. For a 10 box, 8 box minimum. Paladino will finish with an 8 box. 25 after 3. Paladino manages 43 East Hollis Street, the mobile station in Nashua, New Hampshire. He has many crazy stories. Ask him about it one of these days. You will not be disappointed in the entertainment value it provides. And Dominick is on the head pin. We'll take a awkward split of a 6 drop. It's the 4, 6, 2, 10. Shot on the 2, 4. Will likely take everything out, but that wood is the question mark. But it will go for Dominick Paladino. He'll take a spare.
Like you said, I wasn't expecting that.
Some spectators saying they weren't expecting that. Dominick's at 35 and a ball after 4. Yeah. It'd be nice if we can get that fixed. But, you know. No. So, I don't know. Dominick to the right of the head pin. He fills that spare with, ouch, it looks like it's going to be 3. It's going to knock down his fill total and average a little bit.
Yeah, maybe ask him. Say it's not working right now. And if he has any advice, yeah.
Dominick doesn't get a spare. He's left with a 9 or 10 box. Talking with JJ off mic, talking about ideas for fixing the internet here at Academy. It's funny, we turn into IT people. Dominick will finish with a 47.5 after 5. And hopefully we'll get this maybe streaming online, belated if we can get that figured out. But for the meantime, we are just recording. Dominick has a 47.5. Sorry, 48.5. Catching up with the automatic score system. DeFeo, not on the head pin, dropping some pins. 5 pins to be specific. 1, 5, 3, 8, 9. And will he sweep around for the spare? He will. Interesting action at Academy Lanes. 10 and a ball for DeFeo. DeFeo on a mark. It's his first mark of the game. 4 for 11 on head pins. He drops 9 on the head pin, leaving the 5. Single pin, 5 pin spare shot for Bruno DeFeo. He's thinking long hard about this shot. For the spare, he gets the double. The double spare, that is. It's 2 in a row. Yeah. And DeFeo's at 29 in the ball after 2. Bruno DeFeo on lane 4. And he'll fill that spare with ouch at 2. DeFeo for a remedial ball. He'll try for it. Gets 7. DeFeo will get a 10. It's 41 after 3 for DeFeo. DeFeo on an 8 drop. And he'll take another spare. DeFeo suddenly coming alive here at 51 in a ball after 4. Fill total of 19 for Paladino. Fill total of 11 for DeFeo. DeFeo suddenly with 3 spares out of nowhere. All this game. DeFeo filling that with 5 to the right of the head pin. Actually, it was 6. Late falling pin. 57 and 4 for DeFeo. No additional spare. He'll leave the head pin. And he'll take a 10 box. That's a perfect half for DeFeo. 67 after 5.
That's a better half.
2 10s and 3 spares. DeFeo just needed a warm-up game. Suddenly, this game seems like it's been flipped on its head. See how Dominick Paladino can respond. DeFeo remarking it's too quiet in here. Paladino with 1 strike, 2 spares. 53% headpin percentage. 6 splits for 40%. Dominick misfires to the right. Pin still falling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Paladino will take a few more out, leaving the 1 and the 3 for a 10 box opportunity. Take that 10 for 58 and 6. While we're waiting, in case you're new to Class B North, here are the divisions and who is in each division this season. 4 bowlers per each division. This is Division 3, Bruno DeFeo at Dominick Paladino, or Dominick Paladino at Bruno DeFeo specifically. Dominick's on the head pin and incredibly awkward split. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. That's what he's shooting at. No wood to help him, I might add. Fire down the center and get a few more pins than I thought he was going to get. He's left with the 4 and the 7 on the deck. For 10 box, he'll get 3 in a row. 68 and 7 for Paladino. Paladino 53% for head pin shots, 9 for 17. Out of a possible 50. I'm already on auto though.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, I can try. Paladino on the head pin, dropping 9.
So I'm gonna try unplugging the one over there too again.
I'll give it a shot, yeah. We're still attempting to get the wired Ethernet going. Single pin shot for a spare that he misses. And Paladino will clean up for a 10 box. That should put him at 78. After 8, I'll pause to wait for the score correction. Paladino on the head pin. 7 drop, or 9 pin drop on the 7 pin this time.
No, it's just not getting an IP address.
Dominick misses another spare, meanwhile. And he'll take a 9 box. It'll be 87 and 9 for Paladino. So we are at Academy Lanes tonight from 1963.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, at least that works. It's just
And Dominick Paladino with a strike. Quick moving strike on the head pin. Good way to finish. He's at 97 and a ball. 97 and 2 balls, that is. Two balls for the fill. Had a bit of a... Took a few boxes off, but he came right back with a strike. Paladino thinking long and hard about this fill on the strike. Final 2 balls. Not the first game. He's on the head pin. 6 so far. We'll score it after this ball. Paladino will finish with a 7 fill for what appears to be a 104. I will confirm on the automatic scoreboard in just a moment. Apparently Dominick started a phone call down on the tablet, but it is 104 after all said and done. Two-game total at 214 for Dominick Paladino. He's 60% on the head pin tonight and 35% for splits. He's taken in 26 for total fills, averaging 6.5 per mark. Mark fill, that is. Anyways, we'll say hello to Bruno DeFeo once again. And we're still working out the internet situation. If you're wondering why I'm pausing in my speech every once in a while, I'm just trying to troubleshoot it. Since we have physical connectivity, it's just we're not getting the internet juice. That's a 6 drop for DeFeo. 4 horsemen right side. 1, 3, 6, 10. Take everything out for a 9 box. DeFeo will take 10 for 77 after 6. So yes, at Academy Lanes, there's 3 rooms at Academy Lanes with 44 lanes. Each room of Academy is it has its own personality. The red room is sort of the most traditional. All wood approaches, all wood lanes in here. Then there's the blue room with kind of varied... It's like a varied setup, and the green room is all synthetic. DeFeo drops 6, 1, 7, 8, 10. He'll get a beautiful spare. And DeFeo will drop 7 on that fill. Not on the head pin, but not on a split either. And we're going to see if we can get the stream going. Meanwhile,
Oh, missed. Got the 10.
DeFeo misses the spare shot.
Stream up. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I connected to the next door Wi-Fi.
It's working.
Yeah, this isn't working, but the Wi-Fi is. So.
Solid. Build the next door's Wi-Fi.
Well, we connected to the next door Wi-Fi, and now we're online. So if you're just joining us, we are in the second game. Sorry, we had some internet connectivity issues at Academy Lanes, but we're back up now. 102 after 8 for Bruno DeFeo. I'll catch it all up in a little bit. DeFeo's off to the left of the head pin.
Can't win them all, right?
4, 6, 1, 3, 7, 9, 10.
I can't win them all. Just go get as many I can.
I'm just on the Xfinity Wi-Fi now, so it's working.
Something I guess. Good quality too, I bet.
It's okay.
DeFeo misses a spare. 1, 3, 4, 7. So I'm just bantering with some of the folks around us talking about the internet connectivity issues we had tonight. DeFeo for the 10 box. He'll take a 7.
Let's go 11 now. Come on.
So here's where we are. We're just about to finish the second game. Those of you joining us online, yep, the stream started late. It's because we had some internet issues, and we kind of got it sort of fixed in a roundabout way. Bruno DeFeo, lane 3. Drops 7. The 5, the 7, and the 10 on the deck. 7-10-5 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's good as always to have you along with us. This is Bruno DeFeo and Dominick Paladino, this ACST Class B Northern Conference match. DeFeo fires for the spare on lane 3. He's off target. Leaves the 5 and the 10 on the deck. DeFeo will take 9. That'll be the end of the second game. So for folks joining us online, yes, I understand we are just finishing the second game. We had some internet issues. This match is being recorded. The full version will be up on YouTube a little bit later. So thank you for bearing with us. So we're going to be starting the third game here. Again, pleasure as always to stream this match to you. I'm Steve Kelly. And welcome to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class B North at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts on this Friday night, September 20th, 2024. It's Dominick Paladino down there, lane 3. He's off to the left of the head pin. A few pins down. Paladino will take a spare to start out to finish off what was a potentially disastrous first ball. So far, Paladino is 12 for 21 on headpins and 7 for 21 on splits. 57% headpins, respectively. Averaging 5.2 for fills. Paladino with a 9 drop on the head pin. Fills a spare with 9, 19 after 1. Misfires a little bit. He knew after he threw it. No spare for Paladino. And he'll take a 10. Missed the second, get the third. You know the rest of the lyrics. Paladino's at 29 after 2. And I'll reintroduce you to Dominick Paladino for those on the stream. He's 10 and 4. Bowled 1 match so far. He's bowled an away match. Seasonal high 1 at 136. High 583. 3 strikes, 16 spares, 11 tens so far this season. Paladino to the left of the head pin, but gets a generous drop of 7. 136. First spare shot. $136 for Dominick Paladino. That's a spare for Dom. 39 to ball after 3. If you're just tuning in, this is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, a season-long series of one-on-one Candlepin bowling matches between challengers organized into classes and divisions, competing for playoff contention. Dominick's spare shot is a 5 fill. 4 horseman right side and the 8 pin. It's going to be an interesting spare opportunity with that piece of wood behind the single pin in the back. Dom will punch the 3 and nothing else. One 6, 8, 10. I'll take a 7 box. Dom's at 51 after 4. 13 for 24 on the head pin and 7 for 24 for splits for Dominick Paladino. 2 strikes, 4 spares thus far. He's raked in 40 additional pins for fills. Paladino. Head pin drops 8. Six nine. 6-9 on the deck for a spare shot. Paladino misses to the right. He'll miss a second, get the third for a 10. 61 after 5. For Dominick Paladino. 2.5 game total of 275 for Dom. And now we'll say hello to Bruno DeFeo at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts on lanes 3 and 4. DeFeo in the baby blue shirt on lane 3. DeFeo to the left of the head pin. 1, 5, 3, 6, 9, 10. Spare shot. Everything goes but the 5 pin. And he'll clean up for a 10 box. DeFeo for the night, 7 for 21 on the head pin, 5 for 21 on splits, averaging 6 pins per fill. DeFeo dropping, pin still falling. It's going to be an 8 drop. The 2 and the 7 are on the deck. DeFeo will clean up for a spare. 20 in a ball after 2. DeFeo on the head pin, filling that spare with 9, leaving all but the 6 pin on the head pin. Single pin spare shot on the 6. DeFeo takes the spare, 39 after 3, and a fill. %56% on the head pin for Dominick Paladino. DeFeo still catching up, 39%. 9 for 23. Thank you, JJ, for the lane cleanup. DeFeo filling a spare. One, 3, 7, 8 are on the deck. He almost gets the 3rd spare, but the 7 pin remains. But a cleanup for a 10 box, 55 under 4. DeFeo with 38% head pin shots tonight, 9 for 24. No strikes yet, but 6 spares. Had a couple of close calls. DeFeo on the head pin with another split. 4, 5, 2, 10. Plays the object pocket, but a little bit too light, as DeFeo says, almost in sync with me. For the 10 box, take a 9. Dom's at 61, DeFeo is at 64 after 5. At approximately halftime, at exactly halftime here at the Atlanta Candlepin Singles Store, 2.5 games, 275 to 265. The total's within 10. Paladino drops 6 for his opening ball the second half, 5, 6, 3, 10. This is the spare. Doesn't hit the object pin. He'll take 7 for 68. Appreciate you watching. I encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell to the Atlanta Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook, as well as Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube. That's where this match will be found. Dominick Paladino to the right of the head pin, drops 7. 1, 2, 4 on the deck. He'll spare it up. The aim is getting a little bit better for Dom. 78 in the ball after 7. Hope this broadcast finds you well. Everyone involved here, from the bowlers to the staff you cannot see, I'll appreciate your viewership and interest in this live stream, as well as Candlepin Bowling as a whole. Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts tonight. Dominick drops 8. 86 and 7. 1 in the 8. We'll spare it up. 96 in the ball through 8. Dom drops 7, leaving the high-low jack 1-7-10. Pausing for lane maintenance. Dom spares the high-low jack. That puts him at 113 and the ball in the 9th. It's a great shot by Dom. 5 spares this game so far, and counting. And he'll fill with 7. And Dom will get another spare. It never gets old. He's at 130 in a ball. $16 for 30 on the headpin tonight. Dom will fill that spare with 10. 140. Three-game total, 354 for Dominick Paladino. All right, so we have Bruno DeFeo returning to the approaches of lane 4. Lane 4 at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Appreciate having you along with us. DeFeo drops 8 off the bat. 5-7. With some wood in front of the 5. DeFeo will play it for a spare. 74 and a ball after 6 now for DeFeo. DeFeo is 11 for 26 on the head pin. Compare that to Dominick's 16 for 30. DeFeo will fill that spare with 8. Almost an inverse shot. It's the 5-10 now instead of the 5-7. $5-10 for Bruno DeFeo.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Bruno nearly gets the spare. Pin spinning around the 10. But it goes! He spun enough air to the 10 pin for it to go. That might be one of the most interesting spares I've ever seen. Knocked over by air. 92 and a ball for DeFeo. DeFeo on the head pin. Drops 8 with a split. Dominick is inspiring Bruno DeFeo to score marks and make impressive plays and impressive shots. That's the 7 and the 9 on the deck for Bruno DeFeo. Currently at 108 through 8 so far. Play the 9 pin just a little bit too full, leaving the 7 on the deck. But a cleanup for a 10 box. 110 and 8. DeFeo is 13 for 28 on headpin shots, steadily increasing that percentage. It's going up. DeFeo drops 7, 137 on the deck. DeFeo will spare it up. 5 marks in this game for Bruno DeFeo. He's at 120 and counting after 9. That fill, though, it's going to be a fill of 4, misfire to the right. So Dom will take the 4th game. But Bruno DeFeo, well, if Bruno DeFeo gets a spare here, it's still going to be a toss-up. And guess what? It's a toss-up. 134 and a ball. 1 ball, 6 pins. We'll decide this 3rd game. Sorry, not the 4th game, the 3rd game. It'll be 6. He ties. Guess what? We have a tie. Dominick yells, I don't want a tie. You should win it. But 140 to 140. Twin 140s here in the 3rd game. Both bowlers will take 1 point this game. 354 for Dominick Paladino and 341 for Bruno DeFeo. This is a match, folks. Bruno DeFeo clawing things back. All spares for this game for both bowlers. Impressive bowling for both our bowlers. But meanwhile, we're going to move on to the fourth game. Bear with me while we swap things over. Welcome to the fourth game. Paladino. Headpin with a split. He'll take 2 more out for the road, leaving the right side of the eagle. 3-6-10. Paladino will take a 9. All right, well, we have some time, folks. So the 2024 World Invitational Candlepin Championship is coming up, and we're selling raffle tickets. The team I'm representing is the Massholes. So if you want to Venmo me at Skelly and you want to buy some tickets, I'll show that slide again in a few seconds here. But 1 ticket for $5, 3 tickets for $10, and 5 tickets for $20. And I'll just ask you for some information just to put on the card, but plenty of prizes available during the drawing on November 4th, 2024. One $2,000 winner, one $1,000 winner, and several other prizes as well. But that's a spare for Dominick Paladino. 19 after 2 and a ball. Complete that thought, so I'll just need your name, address, city, state, zip, and phone. You can message that to me privately or whatever, however you want to get that to me. My Venmo is at Skelly. Support the Massholes. The world's needs us. Dominic will fill that spare with 6. 1, 6, 7, 10. $25 after 2. No spare for Dom. 1, 6, 10. Dom will take a 10. 35 after 3 for Mr. Paladino. So once again, we're in Academy Lanes tonight, and they just switched over their scoring system from CompuScore to the same one Leda Lanes and Portsmouth Bolorama uses, the Cubica AMF BES automatic score system. So if you're familiar with that at the other houses, you'll be familiar with it here. Dominic drops 9. 19 for 34 on headpins tonight. And Dom will spare up the single. 45 and a ball after 4. Dominic's averaging 6.5 on average per fills. Taking in 78 for the night. Dom dropping 7, 2, 4, 7. And Dom will spare that up. 62 after 5 for Dom. Hope you're enjoying this match. This is Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class B North match between Bruno DeFeo and Dominick Paladino. Bruno DeFeo, the home bowler at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts tonight. Dominick Paladino from Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury. DeFeo to the right of the headpin to start out. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. There's a spare shot. Doesn't get it. 1 in the 8 on the deck. The 8 slid slightly. And Bruno will take an 8 box, laughing to himself a little bit. Just wondering how he kind of got the luck that he got, but that's Candlepin bowling for you, folks. DeFeo on the 1, 5, 3, 6, 7, 8. Or 8, 9, excuse me, in the back row. 8-pin jumps, and the 5 and the 6 just stare at it. All the other pins run away. No mark for Bruno DeFeo. DeFeo will take a second 8 box in a row for 16 after 2. DeFeo 13 for 32 on the headpin tonight. 10 for 32 on splits. Still chasing Dominick's numbers in that regard. And he's to the left of the headpin. For a spare. He's to the right of the headpin. The 1, the 2, the 5, and the 9 are left on the deck. And Bruno will settle for a 6 box there for 22 after 3. So folks, if you think this looks like your thing, check out candlepin.org and click Go Bowling to find your nearest center. There's a bunch of centers all over New England and even some as far west as New York. So check it out, including Albany, New York. It's a 6 drop for DeFeo. No split because the headpin's still up. 1, 2, 9, 10 are on the deck. DeFeo. A little too full on the head pin. Takes out the 1 and the 9, leaving the 2 and the 10. And he'll take an 8 box for 30 and 4. DeFeo still fishing for a strike tonight. Dom has 2, but he has 10 spares. And he'll drop 5 to the right of the head pin. Oh, pin's still falling, actually. He'll drop 6. 1, 2, 7, 9 after a very late falling pin. And he'll spare it up. It's a great one to sit on. He'll sit at 40 after 5. 40 into fill after 5, that is. Currently 416 to 381. Dominick versus Bruno DeFeo, respectively. They tied in the third game. Dominick, meanwhile, he's 57% for headpins tonight. Paladino. To the right of the headpin, 5 drop on the fill. 67 after 5 to complete that thought. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. And he'll take a few more out, leaving the 1 and the 2 for an 8, 9, or 10 box for Dominick Paladino. And he'll take 10. 77 after 6. Folks, also check out candlepinsforcancer.com if you want to sign up for qualifying roll-offs to try to get on the final series, commentated by Paul Grant and Al Johnson. Or if you just want to donate and skip the bowling, that's also accepted. Check it out, candlepinsforcancer.com, candlepinsnumber4cancer.com. Tom will drop 9, and will the headpin fall? It won't. It would have been an interesting 10 box, strike, without hitting the headpin, technically. Tom versus a single pin spare here. He'll get it. 87 and 7 for Dom. 20 for 37 on the headpin. 8 for 37 on splits. It's taken in 90 additional pins on fills. Speaking of fills, there's another 10. Strike for Dom. $107 and 8. And counting, because it's a strike. Paladino filling a strike. A little bit too full. 4 so far. Tom versus the Eagle. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. He'll misfire to the right, so that fill will be 5. 112 and 8. And he'll settle for an ugly 6 box, 118 and 9. Dom 22 for 39 on the headpin and 9 for 39 on splits. He's crossed the 100 threshold and fills alone. On the headpin, will it be another strike? He'll drop 9. Single pin shot of the 9 pin for Dominick Paladino. And he'll spare it up once again. Oops. I said spare, not strike. 128 and a ball for Dom. 6 marks. Dom is loading everything up with marks tonight. Head pin. Pin still settling. 8 fill. 136. 490 after 4 for Dominic. If you can get a 110, he'll have a 600 in the 5th. Bruno DeFeo has some work to do with 40 and a ball after 5 here in the 4th. So we'll say hello to Bruno DeFeo here in just a short moment. Bruno DeFeo faced John Cadero in round 1 at Boutwells. He took 10 points there. 528 series, averaging 105.6. 1 strike, 12 spares, 13 tens. He bowled a 111, a 124, a 102, 96, and 95. Bruno DeFeo defines the definition as seen on TV. He's been on the Channel 5 show, WNDS, and WNDS TV 50 Candlepin Stars and Strikes. At least in the 90s, they said he was from East Boston, Massachusetts. On the Channel 5 show, he was interviewed and he said he was nervous when he was on Channel 5 for the first time, but got much more comfortable the second time and beyond. 7 fill for DeFeo. Bruno DeFeo's league average in 1991 was 124, according to Don Gillis. And in 1992, it was still 124, according to Stars and Strikes Doubles. DeFeo on the high-low jack plays the 1. 7 and 10 are unharmed. Finish with a 9. 56 and 6. Mr. Bruno DeFeo. Appreciate you watching this ACST Class B North match. I'm Steve Kelly in the call. Bruno DeFeo and Dominick Paladino bowling each other. It's going to be a 7 drop for Bruno on the head pin. Two, 6, 7. Some wood around the 2. Play the 2 and the wood, and you got it. Plays a little bit to the left of the operative 2. 8, 9, or 10 box for DeFeo. He'll take a 10. 66 and 7 for Bruno DeFeo. DeFeo is 14 for 37 on the head pin tonight, and 11 for 37 on splits. Taking in 72 for fills, trailing Dominick Paladino. Right side half Worcester and the 5 pin go down for Bruno DeFeo. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 6, 10. For the spare. A little too full, leaving the 4, 6, 2, 7, 10. DeFeo will punch one more for a 6 box, leaving a banana split on the deck. And at this point, I think the 4th game is insurmountable at this point. I think Dominick Paladino will take it. But DeFeo will soldier on. He's on the head pin with a split, 7 drop. It's the 2, 4, and 9 pins. Lots of wood around all 3 pins. And he'll spare it up. 82 and 9. DeFeo is 15 for 39 on the head pin and 12 for 39 on splits. He's averaging 6.0 for fills tonight. And he'll take 5 on that one, though. Four, 6, 7, 8, 10 on the deck with some wood all around it. If you asked me, I'd maybe place something around the 4 pin. Cap that wood in some way. But DeFeo will miss too far to the left, taking only the 7 pin out. For the 10 box, make a solid effort for a 9. He'll finish with 96. 96 to 136. Brutal 4th game for Bruno DeFeo. Dominick Paladino, 490. Bruno DeFeo, 437. So currently Dominick has 5 points. Bruno DeFeo has 3 points. They tied in the last game. That's why the point spread is a little bit awkward. So we have 1 game to go here. Appreciate you watching this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match. After this match, we'll also be streaming the Friday Night Pro League here. It's going to be Hingham at Academy 2. Myself and Paul Grant will be on the call. We'll be here on the same exact lanes that you're watching right now. We'll be streaming on Candlepin Bowling Network, so check that out. Paladino with an 8 drop to start out, not on the head pin. 1 in the 9. He'll take a spare. 10 in the ball after 1. Paladino filling a spare. To the right of the head pin, he fills it with 5. One, 2, 4, 7, 9. He'll spare that up. Second spare in a row. Great shot in the pocket. Apparently Dom wasn't expecting that to go, but here we are. 3 strikes, 15 spares for Paladino. 0 strikes, 12 spares for DeFeo. Paladino's headpin percentage has been on point today. 23 for 42 so far, 55%. DeFeo having trouble finding that headpin, 16 for 40. But look at that fill total for Paladino in particular. And he's on the headpin, and he says that's a nice 4 fill. Headpin shot, won't you believe it? 4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 10. No wood to help him. Take a few more out. 7 box minimum for the third ball here. Wood deflects the ball. It will be 7. 36 after 3 for Paladino.
Start it up again now.
Bruno DeFeo cheering on Dominick to get things started up. 2 spares in the 7, 36 after 3. Dominick Paladino. Lanes 3 and 4 at Academy lanes. Dropping 6. 4, 5, 3, 7 on the deck. And he'll play the object pin, but he leaves the 5 pin. Pin action just didn't work as expected. 5 pin for a 10 box. He'll be a 9 for Paladino. 45 after 4. Paladino 25 for 44 on the head pin, 57%. Splits are not happening for him, so that's quite good. Paladino's on the head pin for a 6-pin drop. 4, 6, 3, 7. Paladino will nearly spare it. Plays the 3-6 pocket. Wood kicks off the left sidewall. Doesn't take the 4-pin. Paladino will take a 10. He'll conclude at 55 after 5. 4.5 game total of 5:45 for Dominick Paladino. Saying hello to Bruno DeFeo once again for his final first half of the night. JJ has a phone call to take. DeFeo, left of the head pin. Drop 6 though, 4 horsemen right side. 1, 3, 6, 10. DeFeo drops the 3 and the 6, leaving the 1 and the 10. No spare. DeFeo will take one more out for a 9 box. Apparently, right after this match, JJ and Dom have to really rush out the door to get to Riverwalk Lanes for the Friday Night Pro League, so they're going to be two-wheeling it up the highway to Amesbury, Mass. after this. DeFeo, not on the headpin, but drops 7. It is the 1, the 8, and the 10. Play the left of the 1. It's a little full. A piece of wood might come to get the 10, but it only nudges it. The decks in this side of the house are interesting. It's a bit of a fun house sometimes, as you can see that wood rolling all around. Bruno DeFeo for 10 box. He'll take a 10. 19 after 2. And I don't know if I showed the slide before we got the internet back up, but here's Bruno DeFeo from the 90s. Thought that thumbnail was kind of funny to put that up there. He's only bowled 1 match this season so far. He's 10-4 for the season, averaging 105.6 so far. Bruno DeFeo has been seen on WNDS and Channel 5. And here he is in the modern era. 7-drop for Bruno DeFeo, 137. Talked with Bruno DeFeo for quite a bit before the match started today, and he takes a spare. 29 after 3. He says he is obligated to continue bowling because his daughter loves him bowling so much, his youngest daughter of 10 years old. He once made a comment saying he thought he might maybe hang bowling up, and his daughter said, "No, you won't." So here he is. Bruno DeFeo. On the headpin, he fills that spare with 8. The 5 and the 9 on the deck. Five and the 9 with some wood around. None of it really helpful. You just got to play it direct. DeFeo will misfire. No spare for DeFeo. Take one more for the road for a 9 box. 46 after 4. One more to go before he sits. He's 1 above Dom in this game. As of the 4th box, at least. DeFeo, lane 3. He drops 7, leaving the high-low jack, 1-7-10. Missed the headpin again. 17 for 45 on headpin shots tonight. DeFeo trying to spare the high-low jack. He did it once, and he'll do it again. Not the first high-low jack spare we've seen tonight. We like to see those. 56 in ball for DeFeo, 55 closed for Dominick Paladino. End of the first half of the final game. Now in the home stretch here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, this match tonight on this Friday night. In the final stretch here, so I'd like to always, of course, thanks our ACST League Commissioner, Danny Finn. To thank Corey Alisi, our Class B treasurer, as this is a Class B match. Mike Imperato for stats and numbers, always love to have those numbers and stats to be as close to the NFL as we possibly can. So Brian Hebert for advice and direction on certain things to tweak in my shows. Staff at Academy Lanes. Xfinity Wi-Fi for kind of saving the stream tonight when the wired Ethernet didn't work. And of course, viewers like you for watching this stream, and wouldn't be doing this without you. Dom working on a 10 box, 6 in the 10 pins on the deck. He'll take a 10, 65 and 6. Dominick 26 for 46 on headpin shots. Still batting over 500. DeFeo 17 for 45. Having more of a struggle tonight. Paladino. Drops 6, misses the head pin. 1, 2, 4, 8. Misses the spare, oddly enough. Looks down at his foot. Must have misfired somehow or has some foot issue. So no spare for Dom. For a 10 box, and he'll miss again. Another awkward, wild pitch. That will be a 6 box for Dom. 71 after 7 is where we're at. Again, I hope this was a pleasant viewing experience for you. Plenty of stuff to subscribe to or check out if you're into bowling and just can't get enough of it, such as the ACST Facebook page on Facebook. Yeah, totally. The Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook. Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube, as well as Instagram and Facebook. Candlepin Chat Group on Facebook. There is at Candlepin Bowling on TikTok. There's Candlepin Corner on YouTube. There's alleychat.net and alleychat on YouTube. There's podcasts such as Ripping the Rack and the Approach. And Dom is struggling here for a spare. Leaves the 6 and the 10. Wood all around the 6 and the 10, but no dice so far for a mark. Dom will 10 it up for 81 and 8. He has 2 marks this game. They were both in the first half. Spare 5, spare 4, and 3 10s later on. Headpin percentage dropping a bit this game in particular. He was nearing 60% earlier, but now it's kind of come down to earth a little bit. Paladino on lane 4. Drops 6 off the bat, leaving the left side diamond. No split though, but it's still a tough shot. 4, 5, 2, 8. He'll shoot for it and he'll spare it. Wins against the diamond. The diamond frequently wins, but Dom defies all odds. He's at 91 and a ball through 9. 3 strikes, 16 spares for the evening. In particular, he has 3 strikes while DeFeo is still yet to find one. Paladino, the pitch, on the headpin, drops 6. He'll split that up, 5, 6, 8, 10. Thinking long and hard about how to shoot this shot. Thank goodness we don't have a pitch clock in bowling. After a long wait, Paladino fires, and he misses, sails the ball through the gap. Final ball for the game for Dom. And, funny enough, he hits nothing again. He plays the wood and gets nothing out of it. That's like a 6 box. 103 for Dom. He'll finish with 593, just 7 shy of 600. I wonder if he was maybe thinking about that 600 a little bit too much, and maybe that set him off course. Dom finishes at 593 after 5. With a potential for 7 points to Bruno DeFeo's 3, without factoring in the total, but we'll find out how that goes as Bruno DeFeo now takes the approaches for the final 5 boxes of this match. DeFeo on lane 4. He's on a fill. He fires on the headpin. drops 5. Spread eagle minus the 7. That puts him at 61 in the 5th. DeFeo trying to spare the sort of kind of spread eagle. He doesn't do so. 2, 3, 4. $7 minimum. We'll take a 9 for 70 and 6. DeFeo 18 for 46 on the headpin tonight. 14 for 46 on splits. Not quite cracking a 500 average for either of those. 90 extra pins and fills versus Dominick's 128. And Bruno DeFeo still fishing for a strike. He keeps almost doing it. He drops 9, leaving the 3. But he'll spare it up for his 3rd mark of the game. 80 and a ball in 7 for Bruno DeFeo. Bruno DeFeo now, 80 and. Looks like it'll be 5. Had been shot, but an awkward left side hay bale. The 4, the 5, the 2, the 7, and the 8, with some wood in front of the 2 and the 5. DeFeo will awkwardly play that wood and slide things out of the way, so no spare for DeFeo. And cleaning up for a 10 box, he'll almost get there. He'll take a 9, 94 and 8. He's ahead of Dom at this point in the 8th frame here. 2 to go. Might go home with some additional points. Bruno DeFeo on lane 4. DeFeo is on the headpin, the 1-2 pocket, 5-6-3. For Bruno DeFeo. He plays the 3-6 pocket, doesn't kick over to the 5. No spare for DeFeo. Nine or 10 box. He'll take 10 for 104. DeFeo's headpin percentage is going up a little bit now. 21 for 49, 43%. That's definitely been a bit of an issue for him tonight. DeFeo on the headpin. 4, 5, 6, 2, 7, 10. That's a headpin shot, if you could believe that. DeFeo's opening ball just isn't working quite as well as Dom's is. And he'll almost take it. Will he get a spare? I was rooting for it, but the 5-pin doesn't go. Look good on paper. We'll conclude with 10. That's 551 for Bruno DeFeo after all said and done. So, interesting. Before we factor in the total, they're tied at 5 and 5, but Dom will take the total, so he'll go 9 and 9 to DeFeo's 5. So that's the end here. 9 to 5. The old 95. Dominick will take 9. Bruno will take 5. 593 to 551. This is a classic Class B total spread right here. So anyways, that should be just about it from us at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts tonight. Again, check out Candlepin Bowling Network for the Friday Night Pro League. That should be starting up at about 7:30 in about 40 minutes from now or so. So be on the lookout for that. Anyways, I've been Steve Kelly for Bruno DeFeo and Dominick Paladino. Have a great one, everybody.